Hi, this is Kim Robbins with Core Wisdom. This month is March, and during the month of March, most Pilates studios and practitioners around the world celebrate the Pilates mat work. There's 31 days in the month of March. There's about 35 exercises in the mat work, and each day we would typically highlight one exercise, post it on social media, talk about it at the studio. This month, what I've decided to do is to highlight a few of the basic mat work exercises with an osteo-safe focus. I just was diagnosed with osteopenia, which is a precursor to osteoporosis. And I figured that would be a great way for a lot of us to look at how we would be adapting some of our Pilates exercises when you're at the studio or if you're doing a home practice. So I have little notes typed up in front of me, so I am human. Pardon me for reading some of them. But I wanted to educate us a little bit. I've done a lot of continuing education in the last 2 years on specifically osteoporosis and movement and Pilates. So in that, I've learned a lot of statistics, which some of them I find pretty eye-opening. So just a little bit about osteoporosis is that it's a disease characterized by bone loss and microarchitectural deterioration of bone tissues, and which weaken the bone, increasing fragility and risk of fracture. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men will suffer an osteoporosis-related fracture in their lifetime. 90% of hip fractures are from falls. Sideways falls are 6 times more likely to fracture a hip. Now, when we talk about fragility fractures within the scope of osteoporosis, we're talking about falls that are from a standing height. I'm 5'1", or so from standing height or less. I'm 5'1". That's not that far to fall, and I could potentially, if I don't keep my bones from getting weaker or my osteoporosis from progressing, I am at risk for that. So I need to improve my balance. I need to improve my reaction time. I need to continue to put stress on my tissues so that they pull on my bones. So I'm doing Pilates and I've added in some weight training. But not only do our bones provide us support for our musculature, they are our levers for movement, they protect our vital organs, and they store minerals like calcium and phosphorus. This I found amazingly interesting, that we have 80% of our bone mass by the time we are 18 years old, and that we achieve our peak bone mass in our 20s. We then have to maintain it or keep from losing it from our 30s to 50s. So here I am at 50, and now I need to prevent bone loss. Women, this is another one because most of our clients are sort of in that menopausal age, that women can lose 1 to 3% of their bone mass a year in the first 5 to 10 years of menopause. So if you haven't had your bone density tested, which I don't think they typically do until 50, maybe it's a little bit older than that, you would be given, when you get a test, you'll be given something called a T-score. And a T-score is a standard deviation. It's a mathematical term that calculates how much result varies from the average or the mean. So my T-score is compared to other women of my age, from how my bone mass differs from the average 50-year-old. So there's a scale, like a scale, 0 being in the middle, right? And you have your 1 to 4, say, positive, and then 1 to -4 or 0 to -4 on the other end. If you were at a -2.5 to a -4, that is considered osteoporosis. If I'm from a -1 to a -2.5, I'm in osteopenia, low bone density. And then from -1 up past your 0 and beyond is considered normal tissue density or normal bone density. I've been changing how my Pilates is looking. I don't round forward so much because that puts too much flexion, too much pulling of the load of my body against gravity on my spine. So Pilates is going to help us improve our balance. It's going to help us be less likely to fall in that regard. It's going to help us stay strong with our muscles, and it improves our posture. So if we have this kyphotic posture, we're already giving ourselves more risk, one, for being in the position, but two, for fall risk. And it just keeps us agile. Pilates is wonderful for keeping us agile. Things that we can change, which is everything I just said, we call modifiable risks. So those are the things that we have the ability to make change to. Things like Parkinson's or MS, we don't have much ability to change those, as well as our age continuing to increase as we get older. Those things we can't stop, but we can really make change in our ability for our balance, reaction time, overall strength, agility, and posture with Pilates. So I hope that you enjoy following along. I think I've put together about 9 exercises, just very basic exercises with modifications or adaptations for an osteopenia porosis protocol. So you'll find those scattered throughout the month in our blog on our website at corewisdom.org.